With Super Mario Maker 2 only a few weeks away, people of all skill levels will be playing and building levels, so I figured I would share some of the lesser known gameplay tricks in Mario Maker that should be a nice help in Mario Maker 2. Of course, there's no way to know if these tricks will for sure be in the sequel, but none of these are glitches, they're just parts of gameplay that many people might not know and could find useful in helping beat or even cheese some levels. And don't worry, none of these tricks are difficult to perform, all of them could be done by even the most beginner level player. If there are any lesser known tricks that I didn't mention in this video, be sure to let me know in the comments and it could help someone out sometime. Without further delay, let's get started. So we all know that you can do short hops on a note block by not pressing anything, or you can jump by pressing jump at the bottom of the note block's bounce. But did you know that you can spin off a note block? By pressing spin at the bottom of the bounce, you will get a short hop off the note block. So you might have already known about the spin hop, but did you know that if you press jump and spin at the same time that you'll do a super high spin jump? Now that could sure come in handy. Did you know that you can kill a thwomp with a brick block, question block, and a hidden block? If one of the blocks is above you, you can either hit it on his way down or his way back up for regular thwomps. For big thwomps, you can only do it on their way back up, so it has to be a hidden block. If you're a beginner or intermediate player, this may look hard for your brain to process. After all, Mario is throwing the spring and then re-catching all while wall jumping. But if you take a second and don't think about what he's doing, just focus on the jump and the run buttons. Press them both at the same time, then let go at the same time. And repeat. It works perfectly every time, so you don't have to even think about it. This kind of setup here is very popular in some dashy levels. People love to torture him by making him throw a shell, then run all the way back down to the bottom and get the shell again. Then go back up, throw the shell, and run all the way back down. But there's a much easier way to get through this. When holding a shell, if you hold down and let go, you'll kill most enemies if they're in front of the shell. This also works if dropped from above. However, one thing to be careful of is if the shell hits the ground and then falls further, it won't kill anything that it falls through. So dropping a shell down a one block gap is a little bit tougher. So the silly dashy back and forth from earlier now looks like this. This can be quite helpful in Mario Maker, and although it's much more obvious in ROM hacks, it's still in Mario Maker to a lesser degree. All it means is that you hold jump while falling, and it makes Mario float just a tiny bit longer in the air. It explains why if you fall through a door at the highest point, holding right and run, this is where you land. But if you hold right, run, and jump, this is where you land. This move is a great help in levels where there is a low ceiling and you have to jump over spikes or some danger, but don't want to hit your head on the ceiling. This gives you near invincibility. Both shellmets are nearly identical, except that the spiky shellmet can also kill anything it touches. But even with the regular shellmet, you could just stay ducked like this the entire time and nothing would hurt you aside from boos, or if anything came up from under you. This is one feature that I most hope is still kept in Mario Maker 2, but in the first Mario Maker, you're able to stand almost completely on top of a spike as long as you're standing on the right side of it on top of a block, mushroom platform, semi-solid, or a pipe. This trick is used all the time in precision levels, but could even give you just a tiny bit more momentum if there's a jump that's just a bit too far. One thing to note is that this does not work with donuts, so be careful. This trick is easy to do, though it needs a little bit of timing to be helpful. But if you see a chain chomp and he's just annoying you, if you ground pound on his base, you'll set him free. It's best to begin this move when you see him freeze briefly, which is right before he attacks. This way you can set him free while he's away from the base and he'll continue flying in that direction. Also, a little Easter egg that you may not know is that if a chain chomp does 50 attacks, he will jump free. This isn't really helpful, but just a cool thing that Nintendo included. You probably already know that the big boot and big heel can both do a ground pound, which will kill anything below it. But did you know that there is a horizontal attack? These white ghost-looking guys will kill any enemy that they touch, and they can also move POWs and P-switches upward. This can come in handy if there's a wall between you and some enemies, and you'd rather kill them before going to the other side. If there's an enemy or item that you need and it goes out of reach or falls in a pit, all you have to do is run off screen a bit, come back, and it will load back where it originally loaded. This also goes for blue platforms that have fallen. Keep in mind that if you kill an enemy or destroy an item, it won't come back when you come from off screen. While I hope some of these were helpful for you, I think it's safe to assume that all or most of these will stay in Mario Maker 2, so keep them in mind and hopefully they help you. Are there any other helpful tricks that you know about? I'd love to hear about them in the comments, and others watching this would probably love to hear them as well. I hope you enjoyed the video and learned something you didn't know before. If you liked the video, be sure to leave a like, and if you want to see future videos all about Mario Maker 2, don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.